I'm good.
Good.
She's got a full report
Ah,
that she's got to do.
Okay.
I did this for your sister, too. Did you know that?
What was hers over?
I don't remember. You remember?
well, it was about you, and then it was shortly after we were married. And she was,
Mine's more about Junction City.
About
Okay.
what?
Junction City.
Oh.
where you've lived all your life,
Yeah.
you know, that place.
Yeah, that place. Okay.
Yes.
You don't need your glasses to answer questions.
He wants to see all the better to see you, my dear.
Okay. What's the first question?
Okay. What was Junction City High School like when you went?
It was more grades. Classes were a lot smaller than they are now.
Yeah?
Elvis Presley was the best singer, or the most popular singer.
What do you mean more grades?
Well, we had 7 through senior high. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all in the same building. We weren't the last class. I think 60 was the last class to graduate out of the building on 9th Street.
Mm-hmm. Was the school
Don't-
new when you
don't-
went?
Don't quote that because I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm not going to quote it.
What?
Was the school new when you went?
No.
No.
Went to 6th grade on where the museum is.
Uh-huh.
Your grandma,
Yeah.
my mother, graduated from that. That was her high school.
Yeah.
But I don't know when the brick building on 9th Street got started. But there was only a few people drove cars. Everybody walked to school.
Nice.
No buses. A lot of bicycles. We had bicycle racks on the north side of the building, and just long, because a lot of people rode their bicycles in the nice weather.
Okay. What were sports like?
Oh, we were not the best. Oh, the class that I was in, at 57, was the first class to get caught breaking into the senior prom.
Jeez. Oh my gosh. Were you one of them?
I was one of them. There was 17 of us. Phil Sampson was a junior, and he lived down. He walked to school with us every day. But Phil and I were buddies, and so we talked him into opening up the lock on the lockers for the basketball players.
Yeah.
So we all snuck in that way, got in there and turned the lights on, took pictures, and about that time you could see the lights coming on the windows of the. They had bathroom windows on the door. You couldn't see through them, but the light come through, and you could see 2 figures coming, and that was the police. We all got caught. They had to sit in the auditorium and wait till our folks come and picked us up. It was like, I don't know, after midnight before Dad came to get me. We didn't say 3 words to each other all the way home.
Grandpa, I didn't know you were such a rule breaker.
The punishment that we got for that was they have a senior sneak day where you can go do anything you want to and get credit for being at school.
Uh-huh.
And we had to go to each class and write a 1,000-word theme on why we were following.
Oh gosh.
That was one good thing. Let's see. Different.
Mom says she thought you were a football manager.
I was. I went out for football, but we lived on 15th Street. And that was the Washington School was there. They had these pipe racks over the foot scrapers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, across Washington Street, west of where we lived, just a block, was an ice cream store. Well, one night we all decided we'd run to get ice cream, and we took off across there, and I run into one of them bars about that high and messed up my knee. So the coach was feeling sorry for me, so he gave me a job as manager on the football team. At least I got to go with the games and everything. But I did go out for football, but I never got to play.
Bummer.
No, I was water boy.
Did you guys still have the rivalry against Manhattan?
Yes, very much so. But it had a lot of little schools. Chapman, Abilene, Salina,
Yeah.
McPherson, all played. Emporia was always tough. Why, I don't know, but they were always tough to play.
I think it's still the same now.
We did. The football stadium was right there, close to the high school. We did some. We had another thing. We're the last class to have was trying to think what they called it. Freshman initiation.
Freshman initiation. What was that?
Well, the high school seniors would pick out a freshman, and you would have to be his servant for a day. And they had a lot of Limburger cheese, shoe polish, and that kind of stuff. Tied little goldfish on strings and made you swallow them and pull them back up. Frances Whitley wore a half a watermelon on her head all day long. Your grandma, Ruthie,
Yeah.
she got so scared of that, she went to the principal and they give her a pass to go home.
Oh my gosh.
But it wasn't, I mean, they had paddles. And if you did anything that they didn't like, you'd have to grab your ankles and they'd give you a swat. And after our class finished that, they decided not to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So, but we were
Were you the last senior class or the last freshman class?
the last freshman class. We didn't get to do it to the freshmen.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. What was it like running the Moreland Market?
Being in Moreland's Market.
Yeah, what was it like running it?
Well, I never liked it. Ernie and Fay did. Ernie was a butcher and Fay was vegetables, but I never could figure it. There was one problem I had was Dad always taught us that the customer was always right. In my opinion, that was totally wrong. Very few of them were right. But anyway, I ended up going and living in Grandma Walker's summertime. Junior and senior, or sophomore and junior year, and at senior, then I joined the Army.
Yeah.
When I got out in senior year. So I spent my summers on the farm working over at the quarry and helping Grandpa do the milking and feeding chickens and all that kind of stuff. It was nice. I think it was a good training for me to get away from the group that was kind of ornery in Junction City.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, but the Morelands Market they moved and opened on December 31st, Halloween, not December,
October.
1953 up there on Spruce Street.
Yeah.
That was, they opened that store. It run till 71. Dad died in 71 and Grandma sold it then to Connell Plumbing. That was, but he was an innovator. He'd done a lot of things that were special. It was the last open meat market in Junction City. In other words, you could go in and
that's
order
awesome.
a pork chop or a steak or
Yeah.
whatever. And he filled orders for, at one time Ernie said there was 17 different stores that come and get meat from Dad
Wow.
or Grandpa. But I don't think it was that many all the time, just special occasions like Easter. He would have a good supply of lamb, and nobody else stocked lamb, so they would come to him and get their lamb orders filled. But it was fun growing up in the being, because you had all you wanted to eat. I was 12 years old before I realized an apple didn't come with a big brown spot in it. Because Grandma, my mom, would never bring anything home to eat that wasn't sellable. Yet,
Okay.
if it could sell it, she'd keep it. We'd eat the bananas that were brown, and the apples with a spoil spot on them. But it was good food. I don't think people today realize what fresh fruit tastes like, because it's not tree ripened like it used to be. It used to be, it was sweet when you got it, but you can't ship them that way. And so they pick them green and ship them, and by the time we get them, we lay them out and ripen them, and they're just never as sweet as it used to be. Had a little sister and an older sister. Nadine was ornery. Faye was worse. One thing that she did that we didn't always like was Mom would bring home fruit from the store and put it in a bowl, and it'd be on the table, and you could have it. If she picked out something she wanted, you'd lick it and put it back in the bowl. Oh, great. We're taking her to Topeka tomorrow for her 20-mile checkup.
Jeez.
She's had that hip surgery, and they do 30 days and 60 days, and this is 60 days after her fall. That's tomorrow.
Okay. Back on topic here.
Okay.
How did you meet Grandma?
Well, we had lockers at school, and we got a homeroom assigned, and the homeroom had so many lockers. Some kids would have to share. So your mother shared, or your grandma shared with Roberta Pongers. She was the band teacher's daughter. And their locker was about 4 lockers from mine. And they got the combination off of my lock.
Okay.
And I would make it to school with 3 minutes to bell time. And they would had a habit of undoing my lock, turning it over, and snapping it shut. So I'd have to lay on the floor and get into my locker. I was always late to home run, but it was McGonigal. He was that was our senior year homeroom teacher, and he was always standing out in the hall watching me lay on the floor and open the locker. And he didn't welcome me into the class. But anyway, we had a good time. But she and I went to the prom 2 years in a row, our junior year and our senior year. She went to First Baptist, and so did I. I don't know, we were just good friends. We really didn't get serious until after school was out. I went to the Army and come back, and we talked then. I went in the Army at 1958, and I come back, and then by 60 we got married. But it was different than it is now, I think. We married younger, but we didn't mess around as much in school, or at least seems that way to me. But anyway, that's what we met in high school.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And had 2 or 3 classes together, homeroom together. That was nice. But we didn't, nothing. It was, I don't think they didn't give him a ring or nothing like that. So it was just friends, good friends. We look forward to seeing all summer look forward to seeing them in Sunday school because they wouldn't see her any other way. She was clear out here, and I was clear over on Grandpa and Grandma's.
Mm-hmm.
So the only time we could see each other was, and David Walker, the rock quarry David, mother taught our Sunday school class. So it was families.
Okay.
Yeah, now what?
Okay. Can you tell me about the Indians that lived here?
No.
No. More grandma's thing?
Well, the Indians didn't live here, but they camped here on
Yeah.
where she lived. Not where, not up
I know,
here.
up here.
Over there on the Clark place. And they would camp there and then go to Fort Riley to get supplies and do the stuff they had to do with the military, and then come back, and then I can still remember when we worked that ground where they camped, you could see where they had their campfires.
Mm-hmm.
The ground was different colored, the rocks were different. And of course, I've got a collection of arrowheads out
Yeah.
of that too. So, but yeah, that's about all. I never did see the Indians. That was all happened long before we come out here to work. But we found buttons off of military uniforms because that's one thing that they did get from the military was old clothes, and they would take the buttons off. They didn't like buttons.
They didn't like buttons.
So the brass buttons were always thrown away in the... Ain't that strange that they didn't... They were different, but they're... your Uncle Bud found a peace pipe.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Clay one. It was like a cross, square, and the bowl was a little bitty bowl. And he cut a stick about that long and run a wire down in the center of it, poked it in the back, and he smoked that thing.
Oh my gosh.
With corn husk. He put corn husk in it. It's in at the museum.
Yeah?
Stuck it in the museum.
That is funny. Okay. Do you know what it was like for Grandma to grow up farming?
Being a farmer, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, she was glad to leave. Right after we got married, I got a job with the Kansas Power and Light in Topeka and moved down there for a year. And we come back. We lived on Walnut Street. We lived there for 10 years. Well, we owned it for 10 years. Then we built the house on Spring Valley Road. In 1976, Grandma York had a cerebral hemorrhage, brain blood, and died. And Grandpa quit farming. He says, if you want to farm, it's yours. Come and get it.
Okay.
Well, your grandma said no. She says, growing up, they would come out of the field at 10 o'clock at night. We'd have to fix supper, then do dishes, and then get up early because they would already went to bed. And she says, I'm not going to live that life because I did working for power company. I got a good salary. I got 3 years paid vacation, or 3 weeks paid vacation a year. Rodney and your mother, doctor bill was $11. The health insurance that we had at the power company was that good.
Dang.
And she knew that would be gone, and she didn't come, and so we made a set of rules. One of them was you quit at 5 o'clock and come and eat dinner. And then you can go back out and work yourself to death if you want to, but you're going to eat dinner at 5, and that way I could clean up the kitchen and get it off. And that pretty much stuck.
Okay.
We had a milk cow, had chickens, and we did, of course, your grandma was a good milker. She knew how to do that. She grew up milking 3 up here. Florence is the same way. She milked 6. Every time she'd go on vacation, I'd run and hide someplace. But we come out here and we lived over there on Spring Valley Road until 80, and that's when we moved into this school.
Mm-hmm.
It was Christmas of 80. But it was good life, farming. We got a lot more time off. We just didn't get paid for vacations. We took 5 weeks in 95 and went to Alaska. Went up there on a mission trip on Kodiak Island, and that was a good trip. So there was a lot of advantages we had. I don't think we ever made as much money on the farm as I did working for the power company. It was better paying job done. What did we figure that? I was trying to figure out once how that's. They had that '66 tornado. It went through White City, Dwight, and ended up going through Topeka. They took all the crews out. There was 2 people in Junction City, me and Glenn Taylor, and 2 in Manhattan that were to take care of Junction City and all the surrounding area. After you work 24 hours without time off, and we did, it was just that many people out of the lights, you had a lot to do. You get double time. You don't go off. You get double time for 24 hours a day after that, as long as you keep working. You get 4 hours a night off for sleep.
Okay.
2 weeks at $30, and I think it was $30.80 times 24 times 14. That's a lot of money. It was, I think my check was well over $7,000 just for that time. And your grandma was a Scrooge. She would take the paycheck and this much, this much, and she big chunk of it saved. I don't put this in the report,
Okay.
but after we were married, she made me pay off the car. I had a red and white Oldsmobile. We never bought another car or a house or a camper on time.
Okay.
We always paid cash. And people don't understand how you can take a house like this. We bought the house, was cheap enough to buy it, but we spent $43,000 just putting the roof and this porch and stuff on. We had the money. We had it saved up. We saved up before we bought it. What did I figure the other day? I had 17 new cars or different cars. A lot like your dad. Trade cars.
Which job did you like better, though? Farming or working on the power company?
I got kind of scared of the power company. My pole partner, Al Perry, died. He got electrical shock and died. I fell off a pole, broke my ankle. We had another kid that was a tree trimmer and working in Junction, got burned real bad. It's just an unforgiving business.
That's why you get paid so much.
You just there was some incident. I don't talk about these.
Okay.
The gas company and the electric company were all in one company. Kansas Power and Light was both gas and electric. It's not that way now. But we had a guy, nice kid. He was different. He never joined the union. Everybody else was in the union but him. He was a gas man for 10 years and then transferred to electric. And when it come time for a raise and make a foreman for me, he had time and grade on me because of his 10 years in the gas department.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't fair. And it made me it upset me a little bit.
Yeah.
And when the farming chance come up, it was easy for me to make that decision. I had 15 years with the power company, retired. We had almost $200,000 in stock bought at that time. And we put it in as retirement. We still have that. But it was a good job.
Yeah.
I made as much back in 1960 as Mason's making now.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's just but it was dangerous, and it was hard work. They don't have the bucket trucks like they have now.
Mm-mm.
If you wanted to go up that pole, you put the hooks on your ankle and
Climb it.
climb it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Why did you guys decide to stay in Junction City?
Why? Neither one of us wanted to go to college. We wanted to have a job and stay in Junction City. I don't know. It's just there's the old owl out there talking. You hear him? Yeah, that's family was here. You know, so we just decided it was better. Kansas Fahrenheit. I worked a year in Topeka and then transferred back and was out of Junction City then. So we were in Junction. Ruthie worked at the bank. She was a bank teller. No, it just wasn't, there wasn't any other reason. There wasn't no reason to leave. We were happy here and the family was here and.
Okay. That was my last question.
That was all of them?
Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to tell me?
I don't know of anything it's important.
Any fun facts about Junction City? I don't know.
Hmm.
If not, that's okay.
Yeah.
You shared a lot. That's some good information.
Yeah. It was a good life. There was there was good people everywhere. But when you get just like I don't think there was anybody at First Baptist I didn't know their name. I know at Westview we've been going over there for a few years, but I don't know half the people's names.
Mm-mm.
You just don't have that camaraderie that you used to growing up part. We had some good pastors that made it interesting. No, I think it's always been a military town. And that's just good and bad because we met a lot of. Did you know that Newt Gingrich is in my high school? Do you know who Newt Gingrich is?
No, I don't know.
Look him up.
Okay.
He is. Didn't he run for president? What? Newt?
Maybe.
He
He was
was,
Speaker of the House, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's Speaker of the House for a while, but he was in our high school, so
Dang.
he was famous. Not famous enough for you to know who he was. I don't know if there's anything that is exciting about Junction City. Centennial was fun. And Fort Riley Centennial was fun. We all dressed up like old people and rode around in wagons and had horses. Uncle Bud had a team and horses, and he grew a great big old beard. He lost. he was in line to be the champion beard guy.
Oh my.
And he's sitting in his rocker up the house, and he always smoked a curb stem pipe.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a Zippo lighter, and he would take that lighter and go like that on his pant leg. Light it up like that. He's about half asleep, lighted his pipe, and he burnt the center out of his. Oh, he was a character. I would have never been successful farming if it hadn't been for your grandpa up there and Uncle Bud, because they were just so patient and so full of knowledge.
Yeah.
That made farming easy to keep up and learn what it takes. And
Y'all kind of worked together, didn't you?
yeah, well, Grandpa was our chief mechanic. He kept things running. He didn't farm. He didn't drive tractors or combine or anything. Bud and I did that. But it was good. When we took over, we cut down on the amount of land that we were farming. And when Ruthie and I had it alone, we hired, of course, Rodney worked for me for a while. Bubber Parvin worked for me a while. Chris Schrader worked here for a while. I drove a school bus to make a living. That really wasn't the reason. The reason was that Rodney and Risa wanted cars, and I said, no, you're going to ride the bus. So they parked the bus out here, and they'd get on in the morning and go to town with me. Well, it worked.
Made you Father of the Year, I'm sure.
Oh, all right. I'm getting tired.
You sound like you've been cheering too much in ball games.
Yeah. I was a little
What
sick
is
last
this
week.
called? What are you doing? It's just
It's just over the history of my hometown
oh,
and why my family decided to stay.
yeah. It was a good little town. It was. We had a lot of fun there. A lot of. Well, when you know a lot of people, I mean, you can get. We had stuff that come in. And, potato donuts. You ever had a spud nut?
What?
Potato donut?
Oh, no, I have not.
Oh, hot chocolate potato donut they were habit forming. God, the spud nuts are good. We had a Dairy Queen. We had I had 2 Dairy Queens for a while. We had, what was the name of that hamburger? There was a little hamburger.
White Castle, you
White
said?
Castle hamburgers. There's a lot of famous stuff like that come to Junction City because of Fort Riley. They would, just that kind of stuff was popular. There's a bar on every street. You'll put that in there.
Okay, I won't.
Did you consider it a safe town? I mean, did you worry when you went?
Yeah, that was different too because you realize that we grew up on 15th Street, 100 block on 15th Street, and never had a lock on the doors at the outside of the house.
Yeah.
Never locked it. Lived in black people all around us, Mexicans and Hawaiians and all kinds of people, but you just didn't have to lock your house. It just wasn't a problem.
Wow. It's a good reason to stay.
It was safe. Well, it was, but it was, I don't know, it was more open than, we would go to Chapman and Emporia and McPherson, all these places would play football and basketball. We'd go there, and they were different. The communities were different. The military kind of opened the town up. It kind of, I don't know, but it was a good place to live. Had a lot of lived across the street from the Washington School. Didn't get a car until my senior year, graduated. Dad signed the voucher. I had to pay for it, but he signed it so I could buy a car. An old 46 Ford from Morganfield, Pontiac. That was my first car. Piece of junk. But anyway, this has been all right.
Okay.
You want to ride home, or are you going to?
I'm gonna walk.
Okay.
It's nice out.
Yeah, it is nice today.
Cool.
If you got any follow-up questions, I can answer them, but